Step of reassembly is getting all the old heatsink compound removed. So what I'm using is just some isopropanol alcohol pads. So this stuff's all dried out. I mean, it should be kind of like putty, but it dries out over time. You don't have to remove every spot of it. You just have to remove what's on top of the chips. So stuff dries out. It doesn't. It doesn't. I mean, it has some. Um, I call it derating, which means it transfers the heat to the heat sink. But it does. It doesn't do as good as if it's still like putty. So then we got to clean all the stuff off on this too. So this makes it easy. Just put it on all the raised surfaces are the ones that will get the new stuff. Don't forget these little ones. So I have the sheet of this stuff, which I think it's basically the same thing that was on there. So you just peel it back. Yeah, I think it's the same stuff. It's got to go around this way because of this for the. And it's got like little alignment pins right there. There's one right there. Whoops. There's one right there. And there's another one right there. Well, it has screws. It has screws too that hold it in. It's I think that this stuff is just slightly thicker than the original stuff, and the heat sink's going on, but it's not. Yeah, I think it's what it needs to see. It's got the screw holes, so I got to put the screws go in that. They're probably not a coarse thread because coarse thread usually goes into plastic. So what I have to do is, it looks like there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So I have to find like 8 screws that look the same. I could look at my video I made. I think it probably tells in that. Just who, but that right now I'm gonna try this. See if this is a good. I have one of these. You should get one. These are great. I mean, you have to look. Yes, it's got a headband. You got to look really close. I mean, you have you're only you can't, I was hoping I could like put this on and just look at stuff normally, but you have to get really close to it, like within a couple inches. But still, it's really they're really good to have. I'm kind of thinking that it's these real small screws. See, and they got a fine thread because they're going into metal. Yeah, it seems to be the. Let me go magnetize the screwdriver again. So I'm not tightening them down all the way. I'm just getting them kind of snug, and then I'll go around and tighten them. So I got these three. I got these three across the top. I need one right there. So if you're buying like a junker drone on, somebody says, oh, it works and it flies. I just, might have like one of the broken propeller supports or arm or whatever. And they show it with the top off, and you see the little DJI sticker on like the GPS or something like that, and it's red or pink. That means it probably more than likely went into water, and you should buy it accordingly. I wouldn't pay a lot for it because it's probably nothing in. See, here's one like this. See a sticker on the. See that sticker right there? Now, if that gets wet, that's going to turn, depending on how wet it got, it's going to turn anywhere from like a pink to red. So here's the other one we got to get. They use it on cell phones too. Somebody drops their cell phone in water, and they say, "Oh, it just stopped working." I don't know what happened. And that's the first thing they do is they look at it. And they say, "Oh, look, these stickers are the stickers on here are all red, so that means it probably went in water." I need one more screw. Okay, so now I can go around and tighten these in an X pattern. Okay. So then we need to get the bottom case. No, that's the top. I don't know if you can hear it or not, but you can hear a helicopter hovering in the background. We had a really bad water main break down on Route 355, which is one of the main thoroughfares. So all the traffic's backed up. So I'm sure it's probably one of the news helicopters. So this is the bottom of the case, and this right here, the camera attitude positioning. You know, it makes the camera look up or down. You don't want to turn it, when it's like this. You don't want to turn it upside down because it will drop out. It's not that difficult to get back in, but you know, if you don't have to, you want to limit the work you have to do. So then you want to take this is like, I guess, just like an RF shield. You want to snap that down over like this, and it snapped down over. Remember, all the solder was there, so it didn't make any difference. So make sure it's snapped down really good and tight, and then you know, take the wires for the antennas. I'm pretty sure they don't go under the main board. Okay, so you want to drop it down like, you want to see these little posts come up. One here, and then one here, and then this post here, and the post here, and the post there, and then like all the screw holes should line up. Small screw won't fit in anymore, so you have to make sure you get these correct. So there's 6, 3 on each side. So I guess if you're not sure, you could try the smallest screw. So I need 3 on this side too. I just felt it click in. The board wasn't all the way in. Okay, now we can. You have to put the sensor. This is the camera attitude adjustment. Makes the camera look up and down. See, it's got a keyway right there. Okay, so you've got the camera attitude potentiometer on there, and you got to plug it in. There's like you can only plug it in one way. There's a little notch that goes in a little window on the connector on the motherboard, and then make sure you have your this cable plugged in. If you removed it, let's see if I can. And it should say main board. Right there, it should say main board. And then there should be a little dot there, so that's number 1 pin. And you shouldn't see the white line that's across there. That should be in, it should be just like that. So next goes the battery. I always wondered what this is for. There's a secret switch right here. I tried pressing it, before putting this bottom bracket on, and I pressed it once, and it like turning on the power, and if I press it 3 times, it's like pressing the pressing the on button once, and then holding it down again, where it resets it puts it in, what's it do? Yeah, it resets it to default mode. It's just like doing that. I wonder if that can like reset a brick controller, one that like the firmware didn't take. They had a whole bunch of those a while ago. People were using phones that weren't compatible, and the controllers were bricking. So you take your battery, drop the battery in. You want to make sure it's not sitting on the your Wi-Fi wires, or any other wires actually for that point. On your buttons. You can actually put those in after the battery's in. Oh, that's right, yeah, because the post, they go on these posts. The battery, the button goes on. They go on these posts on the battery. So you go on just like that. So the battery, it doesn't have to be in there. But it's better, you can put the battery in first. So you put the battery in. Make sure it's not sitting on any of the wires. There, it's snapped in. Then this button goes on the little peg, like that. And then there's a button board that has to go across here that has the button on it. So you put the other button goes on the other peg. It goes on that peg right there. And you got to put the screws in to hold the battery in. Four screws. Then once you got the battery in, you got to plug it in. It's around here on the side. And it's just that easy. Then you want to put in the, I think this is like the, so I think what it is that I think the controller has 2.4 gigahertz and this is like 5.8. This is for the 5.8. And I think that what I tried to do is I tried to make an amplifier. I used a really small Wi-Fi um, signal regenerator with a portable 12-volt battery, and it just didn't work because it uses a 5.8 also. I don't know if it uses both of them at the same time or if you can use five. I mean, I've seen like on the controller you can go into the settings and it shows where you can switch, I think, to 5.8 from the 2.4. So I have no idea how it uses all the different frequencies, but this one I think is the 5.8. But using just the 2.4 didn't work. It just wouldn't work. So it does use the combination of the 5.8 for something. Okay, there it's connected. So what you want to do is you want to run the cable, the antenna cable right through there, and then this goes in there like that. Then you put on the button board. Now you got to make sure your switches are back in there. They both fell out again. So this one goes on that post. I don't think you can put them in backwards either. I think they only go in their assigned location. So you take the button board. The button board has 4 screws. And then it snaps into place like that. And then don't forget to connect up the cable right here. And it's like, as always, there's a lock tab. You want to flip that up. And then see the cable, it's got a little white dot. It's got a line. Remember the other one said motherboard or main board on the bottom? If you put this cable in backwards, it's probably going to send power to ground and ground to power. And it's going to probably fry something. So you want to make sure if you take the cable out, you get it back in right. See that white line? It's got to go. When you can't see the white line or it's right even with the connector, then it's in correctly. Then just push the lock tab down in the back. And so you got that dot on the left. That dot means pin number 1. So make sure it's just snap down, and then we got to get the screws. There's 4 screws. That's the wrong one. That's the hex. They put those 2 hex screws on the outside like it's going to deter somebody from taking this apart. They're not going, oh, it's not a Phillips. I don't know what that is. I'm not going to take this apart. See, when you press the buttons down, you hear a click because the button board's in there. Everything has a button board. Whoop! Oh, that went right in the. And so you put in the last Phillips for the button board. Then the next part is to put the joysticks on. And you just snaps in. I like snap in. Snap in's good. Oh, accidentally turned it on. Oh. I've already charged it up, verified that my new USB port, micro USB port works. So what you have to do now is you have to hook up. Oh yeah, you know something else too you have to be really careful of on this when you put it back together that I didn't check is, let me see if you can do this without taking it all the way apart again. Give me a second. Yeah, this reminds me of, I don't know if you've ever had blue crabs before. This is like taking a crab apart. Okay, yeah, probably you can do this without you don't have to take it all the way apart, but let me see. See your sports, you got a sports switch here. You got the sports switch here. And then you got the switch for it is right there. So if this isn't lined up when you put this down, it might be, if it's over here, it's not going to work. So I assume if you slide this all the way over here like this, when you snap this down, it should, because the switch is right there. So you can so it's switched all the way to the left. And this should be all the way to the left. So let's close it up. Oh yeah. Okay, see, you can hear it clicking. There we go. So now we got to hook up the remember these? The ribbon cables for the joysticks. Remember I'm disconnecting them? So more than likely what's going to happen is they're going to be underneath the circuit board for the joystick. And the worst thing you can do is grab the cable in the middle and try to pull it out. So what the easiest way to do it is to go in and grab the end of the cable and just pull it back and up like that. So I don't know if you can see that. Let's see if I can focus that in just for a moment. We get a pointer. So that right there is the connector. Yeah, the connector. And it's got a lock tab on the back, and then that's the cable. And you want to get like a pair of tweezers or something. If the cable's underneath here, you want to get a, it's underneath here. Grab the end of it and pull it back, and then it will pull it back here. You'll be pulling it back down here, and then it will just spring up here. And then you got to use the tweezers to put it in. You got to make sure that the lock tab in the back is up. And there's one on each side. There's one on this side. There's one There's one right there on the other side. See, that one, the cable's underneath of it. So what you have to do is go in underneath there and grab it with the tweezers and very gently pull it back, and when it does, it'll just spring back up there. So I'm going to do that right now. I'm going to slide it in there. Make sure that the lock tab's up. Yep, the lock tab's up. That makes it easy. So all I have to do is just slide the cable in. Oh, I thought it was sliding across the top. Sometimes it takes a moment to get it. You don't want to get it in crooked. You don't want to, rush. Maybe before you do this, go get a soda, watch some TV, and then try. So I've never seen these cables for sale. I mean, imagine getting through DJI. Okay, that one looks like it's in. So I'll flip the lock tab back down. And now to the other side. So I'm grabbing the cable at the end. Pulling it back, it springs back. If you try to grab in the middle, I don't know why. I just don't think there's enough. See there, it springs almost goes in, and the lock tab is the lock tab is up. Okay, so then you can. Works good. Power button works good. So then there's two Phillips screws on either corner. Right here. Right here, and on the other side right there. So you squeeze it down, squeeze it together. And put the screw in. You get the other one. We're on the home stretch. Then this goes in. Put it back together. So that snaps in like that. And then these go in. I'll wait, this didn't snap in all the way. There it goes. Okay, it was the wrong side. So that should sort of snap in too, which it did. Then you got the hex head. So you put that hex head in there, so yeah, it's not a Phillips, and somebody sees that and says, "What the heck is that?" I'm not going to take this apart. Okay. So it worked because I charged it up with this. And there's the new port right there. The new USB micro port. So it was repaired for about, I think the port was like 35 cents. And I probably used like about 3 cents worth of solder. And maybe the flux, maybe $1 worth of the flux. Flux is expensive. And of course, labor's what really costs on all this stuff. You know, paying somebody to fix it. And the parts.